Hi there. If there's one thing in the ukulele world that grabs my attention, it's instruments that are a bit quirky. Or should that be quarky? Keep watching. Yes, it's GotAUkulele review day again. This is the summary video review for the full detailed review that you always find linked below the video. As always, thanks again to my Patreons and those people who donate through PayPal to the website. This is a non-commercial website for reviews. I don't get paid for doing these, and your donations really do keep the website going. Okay, as I said, quirky or quarky. This is a brand called The Rebel, who I have featured before, and they are kind of famous for both having quirky names. The one I looked at before was called the Cheesecake, and it was a terrific instrument, but also pretty quirky on looks too. Now, the thing about quirky looks is that you either love them or hate them. I like some of them, I don't like some others. And so the dealers for The Rebel in the UK, Southern Ukulele Store, sent me this one to review. This is the Rebel Quark Tenor, and it certainly is quirky. Now, The Rebel are a brand based in Thailand, been making for quite some time. A bunch of very skilled luthiers, actually also trained by GotAUkulele, and in fact they are the team that make the GotAUkulele OPO series, so they know a thing or two about instruments. But they've got their own line out called The Rebel, so names like Cheesecake and Creme Brulee, and this one's called the Quark. And you know, I think people are probably already looking at it and going, I love it, or they're saying, no, I don't love it. Okay, it's a tenor scale instrument. It's a double bout, but with that sort of typical for the Rebel kind of swoopy, curved. I love these curved basses on ukuleles. Made of all solid tone woods. This is solid spruce on the top in a couple of pieces. Really nice, tight, straight grain. Sorry about the fingerprints. And the back is made of all solid, not laminate, all solid Indian rosewood, and is absolutely stunning. And the contrast between that and the front is, you must admit, really, really nice. Two pieces on the sides, two pieces on the dead flat black back. And yeah, it really is pretty stunning to look at. Okay, on that top, you've got an ebony tie bar style bridge with kind of interesting sort of shaping to it, really neatly done, very tidily carved. A straight topped tusk, which is synthetic ivory saddle, so no animals harmed. Tusk, T-U-S-Q. And that's nice. Decoration-wise, there's no binding to the top or the back, but you do get this maple inlaid strip around the side. It's the first ukulele I've seen that's done that. I don't know how it's done, but I think it looks absolutely terrific. Really, really nice. Yeah, like that. And then the thing that really makes it quirky are the sound holes. Apostrophes, I think they are. Commas, apostrophes, speech marks, with this sort of black edging and blue tint on half of it. I don't like them. I don't. Some of you will. I've put up some teaser pictures already on my website, and some people have said they like it, some don't. I don't. It doesn't really change the way the instrument sounds, though, does it? And it's certainly different, but there we are. It's all then finished. It's really well built, the body, absolutely well built, because they do know what they're doing. All finished in a gloss, which isn't quite perfect because it's not grain filled, so you can see little pits and holes in it throughout. I'm not too fussed about that. Kamakas are like that, and GotAUkulele certainly used to be like that on the gloss. Less so these days, but it's not. If you're after absolute mirror finish, I know it looks shiny, but I can't really show you. You can see sort of ripples in it there in the light. Not perfect, but also not perfect is there's quite a bit of pooling here around the edge of the fingerboard. Some white polish marks left on it as well, a little bit scruffy. You can tell it's not been made by a machine in a factory. It's been made by a luthier, so that's a good thing, but I point it out as I would point out on any other instrument. There we are. Looking inside, hard to get in there with the camera, but there are some pictures. The bracing is nice and thin. The linings are not notched. I don't know what the advantage is to that, but it's pretty tidy. There's no real mess or glue anywhere. No real complaints. Up to the neck, this is made of mahogany. One single joint down here at the heel. It's lovely and dark to match the dark back. and fairly shallow. It's rounded a bit on the back, but fairly shallow profile. I love the carving up here, really, really nice, and the carving down here is beautiful. It's really, really tactile, and I do like that. And then up to the nut, mixed opinions on this one, because that's a 37mm nut. Great, that's good enough for me, but it's only about 27mm string spacing, so that's very Koaloa. Wide nuts, but the strings are a little bit narrow. Some people like the strings wider than that. I do. Not unplayable, but I just mention it. Topped with a rosewood fingerboard, and there's another query I've got. Why would you put rosewood on the fingerboard when you've put ebony on the bridge? Because I don't think they match. This is black, this is sort of reddy dark brown. This would have looked so much nicer if it was ebony. Okay, minor point perhaps. That is edge bound down the sides with maple, which means it's really, really tidy and there isn't a single hint of a sharp edge. There can't be, because the frets don't quite go to the edge of the fingerboard, like Koaloa's. It's really tidy. I love the edge shaping down here, although I'll come on to a point about that a little bit later. You get wooden dot position markers facing out. One at the 5th, a double at the 7th, one at the 10th, a double at the 12th, and then this sort of like conjoined rings at the 15th. I don't know what that represents, but it's nice and cool, I suppose. And you get black side dots too. Yeah, all right, okay. Beyond that, tusk nut setup, very good on this one, as you'd expect. Really, really pretty headstock shape. Faced in dark ebony. Again, ebony, rosewood. With kind of an offset notch to it, so it's kind of like a raised panel. Really, really pretty. That's the Rebel logo. It says it's in stone. I don't know. I think it means it's a sliver of thin blue stone. The blue to match the turquoise down here. Oh, blimey. I'm in reverse, so I'm finding it hard. So that's really nice. I think that's a really attractive headstock. Really helped even more. These are GotAUkulele planetary tuners with black keystone buttons, gold hardware. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I don't know why they put this label on here. It's like a paper sticker. A Nui with the Moonbird put a label on the back there, but they put it under the gloss. This is going to rub off. I don't know whether it's supposed to be removable, but I think it looks really ugly. And completing it, you get a set of unbranded, unnamed clear fluorocarbon strings. So that's probably fishing line. And you get the usual, the Rebel weird padded gig bag. Really good quality padded gig bag, but that's not my cup of tea either. I'm not going to really do an instrument down for having a weird gig bag. But that comes in at a price. This is high end. So it comes in at a price in the UK of £1,299. A lot of money. Putting it up there at the same sort of position on the table as Koaloa, as Kamaka, as Kanalea, and as the Nui Moonbird, which is actually a little bit cheaper. Just going back to that bag though, if I'm going to spend 1,300 quid on an instrument, I'm going to want a hard case. I'm not going to be critical of it for not providing a hard case, because you probably buy one anyway. Koaloas don't come with a hard case. Kanaleas don't come with a hard case. However, Kamaka do, and so do a Nui Moonbirds, and the Moonbird is cheaper. I'd rather they just ditch that padded case altogether and said, look, you don't get a case, drop the price a bit, or give us a hard case. So there we are. Maybe I'm making something more about that case. Anyway, there we are. It's really nicely built. I like the looks generally. I love the stripe. This is beautiful. The neck is wonderful. The headstock's wonderful. I think these are a bit hideous. Okay, I'd like the string spacing a little bit wider. Some of the gloss finishing is a little bit wobbly. And I don't like the fact that that rosewood fingerboard doesn't match with the ebony of the bridge. I don't know why it wouldn't be the same wood. But diminutive, thin, like the cheesecake was. We'll see how that affects volume. The answer is, I'll tell you now, it doesn't. But it's light, it's balanced, and it's really comfortable to hold, because it's not this sort of uber jumbo instrument. Now I'm going to tune it again, because to stop the nutters out there saying that I deliberately play things out of tune. You know, I get instruments, they're new and the strings tend to settle, but I always do ensure that they are in tune at the nut. Okay, the first things we'll say, that diminutive body size, as with the cheesecake, no problem at all with volume. Really loud instrument. And good sustain. Shimmering into my chest. This is too good an instrument for me to do justice. I'm not that good a player, but I'll give you a feel of the sound of it. Tone-wise, spruce can be very bright, and it certainly is a bright sounding instrument, but there's a warmth too, whether that's coming from the rosewood or just a build. This is a low G, incidentally, so that's helping, but there's quite a lot going on. It's great range. Shimmery, reminds me a lot of playing a koaloha, which is perhaps unsurprising. What I was going to say about this, I think it's extended a little bit too far, because I didn't tell you, did I? There's 20 frets on this with 14 to the body. I think it's extended a little bit too far, and I find I'm clipping it with my finger when I'm playing it. It's irritating me. Fine sounding instrument. It's a terrific sounding instrument. It's crisp. Every note is absolutely crisp and shiny, and like most instruments up at this level, I think they excel better when they're played finger-picked. Too. It's a really good instrument. It deserves its place at that top table. It deserves its price because it's clearly got such a lot going on with it with the tone. But I do think it's all going to come down to looks for people, because it's probably unfair to compare it to the Hawaiian instruments because it's made in the Far East. The Anui Moonbird, the original Moonbird, is probably the one that most people will compare it to because it's very similar specs. Solid spruce top, solid instrument, quirky looks. The Moonbird is not as quirky as this by far, but this is more expensive by about 100 quid over the Moonbird, and you get the hard case with the Moonbird. But still, I think some people will look at this and go, I just got to have the looks. I want to be different. I want to stand out. And there is an awful lot to like about this on those grounds. Some of the little quirks are a little step too far for me, and I don't like the mix match of the woods. But other than that, there's really not a lot wrong here. A fine instrument that comes with a very high recommendation. It had to be. This is a professional level instrument by the Rebel. It's called the Quark. It's a tenor and available from Southern Ukulele Store. Thanks very much to those guys for the loan of this instrument. Okay, now this is the last instrument review for me in 2019 because I'm having a break with the family over Christmas. I will be back in the new year. It's booked solid until March, so I've got loads of instruments coming your way. Thanks again to my supporters who do donate and help keep the site going, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful Christmas, holiday, whatever you want, and enjoy a very good new year. See you very soon. Bye-bye.